last time we left off, Harvick, Rokus, and Icy had a meeting, and then Rokus and Icy stayed up late playing around, having lots of long conversations. But they did discover a few things, um, and they interviewed a few people about the murders, and were able to get back and get a good night's sleep. Slept in a bit. Harvick then woke up early. It is day 34 of summer. Harvick ordered some fine clothes and costumes to cover armor that will be ready on the next day. And that's about everything, I think. Anything you guys want to add?
Nope.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So, I think we can pick up where Harvick makes his way to the Bard's Tale to meet Rokus and Icy. Is that okay?
Yep.
And what's his name? Harold is with you.
Yes.
Okay. And your faithful dog, PJ.
Right. Pookie Jones.
Pookie Jones.
PJ.
All right. So, I guess when Harvick walks in, he's greeted and brought to a table, and Rokus and Icy emerge, looking like they just woke up recently, I guess. What are you guys wearing down to the table?
I'm gonna wear my regular clothes.
Okay.
No, I'm taking off my finery and putting on regular clothes.
Well, you didn't sleep in the finery, so.
Oh, okay.
So when you woke up, you put on your regular clothes. And Icy,
Right.
how about you? You the same?
Yeah, I'm gonna come down to my regular
Don't go
clothes.
down.
Okay, so you guys all are brought to the nice table near the front by the stage. There's actually nobody singing right now. It's in the middle of the afternoon. But there's a lot of people eating meals in there. And what do you guys want to do?
Okay, nice. Hey, I'd like to talk to them a little bit. And I'd like to introduce Harold to them. I don't think they've met him before. And explain that he's been assigned to me to help out and it's what we're doing to try to find and get the reward to try to find out what happened to all these murders. That we've already talked about that. And after I've introduced him, I would like to ask him if he knows anybody. Well, after I guess it's up for Richie and Rokus and Icy then to say what they've done.
Yeah. How much? What do you want to share? Cause you did meet with some different groups, so there may be things you don't want to share. So let us know if you're keeping something from Harvick. Otherwise you can just say we tell him everything.
Right.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd tell them what's going on.
Maybe we could say that Harvick has hired us.
Okay, may I make what I think would be a better suggestion?
Okay.
Is that say that the reason that you're having all these meetings and stuff with me is that when we got back, and this is the truth, I've got all the diamonds and things like that, all the loot. I haven't sold them yet. So you're keeping an eye on that. And also, if I think it would be a good idea if you guys gave me most of your money, I'll go put that in the bank. And then you can sit there and say, and I've got you guys on a per diem, so you have to come get the money every day. And that would give Rokus a reason to sit there and complain about the way things are. So we don't necessarily have to be a group. So people that were against me might even get up to Rokus and see if they can get him on their side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's an okay cover.
Yeah, because then you can sit there and complain about what's going on,
Okay.
and they, especially since you're wearing your scudsy, smelly stuff anyway.
I I washed the clothes. They're
You still smell like an elf.
it's better to smell like a dwarf.
So they smell good. And I'm gonna ask.
Harold's looking back and forth like, well, this is. And I haven't seen this side of Lord Harvick.
Pookie Jones might like the smell of a dwarf.
Okay, now, and I would like to ask Harold, does he know this guy, Carl?
Carl, yeah. I don't know him well, but I've met him.
He seems like a shady character to me. I'm a little suspicious. Would you agree with that, Harold?
From what Rokus said, um, it did seem a little strange, but what he said about, um, paladins isn't entirely wrong. As you know, you're a paladin, my lord. Um, there are a lot of situations where a paladin has to make a judgment call, but front on these murders that have been happening, the at the Hall of Justice, we feel that they're very uncharacteristic of a priest of Tyr or a paladin or a cleric. That the methods of maybe punishment are cruel and unusual.
Yep, I think we're all in agreement with that.
Okay, but I think I'm still suspicious of him. It would be nice. You got those kids that you're on there. If you could get one of them to sort of check out and see what he's doing.
Okay.
I think there's a possibility he's fingering the people that are going to get killed.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking of is during the day when you guys can do your, you can check out we have 4 more people you have to check out. Or 3, I can't remember. We did Una, but I can't, however many more we have to do. I think it's 4 more to check out. You can do that during the day, but in the evening, it sounds like that Carl guy likes to go to the drinking place.
The big top.
Yeah. You might make friends. You might try to make friends with him, get him to be one of your, be buddy with him, but also let him know that you're not a very good person. So you might be if he's fingering something for a rogue paladin, you might get him to finger you if you can sit there and convince him that you're worthy of being killed, which should be real easy for you.
You might be able to help with that too. At some point, you could accuse me of stealing something. I could actually take something for you, so you won't have to lie. I'll do a sleight of hand, and try to get something from you.
Okay. And then you fail, so we're.
Yeah, I can roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
That would probably be a performance check if you're doing it in front of someone.
Yeah. Well, the performance check would be on Harvick accusing me of doing it.
Depends on the situation. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So Harold is listening along, and so after you guys discuss all the things that have happened, anything else you want to add in?
I would, if Harold is listening in on this.
Yeah.
Harbeck, can you take him down and put him on a cone of truth in order to assure that, or he needs to assure us that he's not going to be affiliated with anybody that is on the wrong side of this?
If he's willing,
Um,
I'm sorry to have to do.
I will ask him.
I'm sorry to have to do that, but we're divulging pretty much everything we're doing. If he's not in the clear, we've just tipped our hand to the entire thing.
so Harold says, yes, I don't have any problem with going under the zone of truth. Not a cone of truth, but a zone.
Oh, zone of truth.
You both have been calling it cone of truth.
Well,
But
that's where I got it from.
yeah. It's actually zone. But
Zone, okay.
yeah. He says that he would be fine with that.
And Harold,
He
I
asks.
apologize for even bringing it up, and the fact that you're willing to do it is pretty much good for me.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we can do it right now if Harvick wants to cast the spell.
That is, I will leave that call to Rokus.
Just the fact that he was willing to do it is that shows me that he's fine.
Okay.
If he took,
Well, thank you for your vote of confidence.
if he'd gotten defensive and or insulted about it, fine. But his willingness, I'd prefer to him to know we are we have some honor here too.
Yes, even if you are an elf.
Lord Harvick.
No, he's pretty vindictive.
Harold doesn't have the disdain for elves that I do. Okay, so then basically, then you guys are. My understanding then is you guys are going to go out and do your interviews during the day, and then at night you're going to try to go check out Carl and make friends with him. Does that fit with what you have in mind?
Now I'm not going to get to be friends with Carl. I'm just going to make sure Carl knows that I'm a disreputable type.
Yeah. Okay. However you want to do it.
The other thing I thought I might do is go to the provision place and get a couple of water skins, so that I'll have something to pour my beer into when I'm pretending to get drunk.
Okay.
Because at some point I'm going to have to. Huh?
You're going to have to. I'd order something stronger than beer when you do that.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're going to wonder why you're drinking all that beer and not running out to whiz every 3 seconds.
Well, I can go out and pretend and pour out the beer that I've collected.
Okay, however you want to do it.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the bladder in my pants. I'll fill it up and go out and pour it out. I'll have to rig up a little system.
Hey, you could see if the provision place has a fake wiener.
Maybe a little tiny one. I can pretend I'm a dwarf.
Okay.
You guys are nuts.
They're wieners.
Now Harold is really impressed with Harvick.
Oh, it's too early in the morning, but you guys are starting to drive me to drink again.
So I got what Rokus and Icy are doing. What's Harvick's plan for the day?
Harvick's plan. He still wants to work on the first murder, which is a little bit different, and he also wants to tell everybody in the room there that he's just learned that there are whatever those raven things are, and if there's one of those kicking around, that means whoever stole the face and the clothes also has a way of sounding exactly like it is, if it either is one of those or if he just has a friend that's one of those. So I would
Okay.
ask
So
Harold to check with.
you're saying that like that you've just realized that there's a kind of creature that can mimic voices very well.
Right, right. So if one of those is in cahoots with whoever stole the face and the clothes, they now have a way of disguising the voice too, which means it might be something other than a. It's possible that it's something other than just a male human.
Okay. Oh, and I heard something about that cobbler fellow, the shoemaker fellow that we run into
Yeah.
back back on our way out of Phandalin. He and Droop are in town, so we're gonna try to find Droop.
Okay.
Let's see if he can help us any. I don't know what's up, but we'll check in on him.
Okay.
All right. So I guess you'll adjourn your meeting here.
Oh,
We can So are you gonna split up right away?
I see no reason to stick around.
Okay. So I guess we'll start with Harvick this time.
Okay.
So okay. So Harold follows you out, and he says, "Where to, my lord?"
Okay. I would like to find or talk to the guard who found the first body.
Okay. The first body.
Yes.
All right. Hold on. See if
When
I
it
have
was
some
found.
notes for that.
It was found right about where we are.
Harold suggests that you guys head to the Neverwinter guard station to find out who that was and where they might be now.
Okay.
And that is nearby, so if you agree, you can walk right over there.
Yeah. Too close for a carriage.
Yeah. Okay, so the two of you walk down the road. It's quite close, and there are two kind of buildings that face each other. They're like barracks and offices. And at the front gate, there are some guards. You guys identify yourselves as um, working with the Hall of Justice, and they lead you in and to one of the offices, and they say, you meet a guy there, and he says, "How may I help you?"
We would like to interview the guard who found the body that you found by the, I think it was the area, some alley, the barge tail.
Yeah, yeah. Harold helps you out and describes the situation, and so this guy goes and says, "Okay, that was Jared who found the mutilated body. I will get him. He's actually off duty now." So he goes away and comes back with another guard, and he introduces himself as Jared. He says, "I heard you were looking to question me."
Yes.
All right. Well,
Um,
I'm free now, so I can do that.
okay, so when you found the body, it was in the alley.
It was in an alley near the store called Arcane Alley.
Okay. And okay, you said it had small, the regular clothes were gone, but it still had its small clothes.
Yes,
Okay,
that
were
was
they the one?
that was the only thing we found that we could uh, identify that was belonging to the individual.
Okay, were they small clothes that a gentleman would wear, or were they small clothes that someone of a lower class would wear?
Um, they seem to be um, they weren't like a loincloth or something like that. It was likely uh someone. They could have been well to do.
Okay.
but it wasn't that clear. It was just they
It
were
wasn't.
very they were very stained from the blood, and it wasn't, they weren't like in good condition anymore. So it wasn't obvious um, the original state of the material, but the type of clothes, it seemed that maybe, yeah, it could be middle to wealthy.
Okay, but not silk or anything like that.
No.
Okay. And you said the face was missing?
Yes, it had been, the face was like, it wasn't cut off cleanly, but it was hacked up.
Okay, and what color was the hair and what kind of haircut?
Um, the hair was also damaged. Can't really say the hairstyle. It was a short hairstyle, and dark hair, like dark brown.
Okay. Okay, and thank you. And I'd like to talk to the captain of the guard now, please.
Um, I believe he is in his office. I'll take you there.
Thank you.
They take you to another office and knock on the door. Someone beckons you inside, and you see Captain Joseph Barta, who you had met before. He's surprised to see you and stands up and says, "Oh, greetings, my lord."
Yes, now you got the message to try to check out males that have recently come into the area. Have
Yes,
passed.
we have been um identifying the male humans and having them go through checks, and we've also been doing random checks with the zone of truth.
Okay. And you found nothing, I assume, since you haven't told me anything, which is
So far, we have not found anything.
hey, how many human male passes are there?
In total,
Yeah,
I don't have that information, but I
round
think he
numbers.
would have that information. So he tells you. What are you looking to figure out with this information?
I want to get a general idea, and my next question is going to be how many of those raven things have passes?
Okay, so Neverwinter is at least like 80% human.
Okay,
So he tells you, I don't have the statistics for the actual number of residents. So
80,
he
80% is
tells he
fine.
tells you about how many humans you would expect to come through, and he says he has never, he doesn't even know what, he's heard of bird people, but he's never seen a um kenku before.
So there's no bird. Is there any bird people that have passes?
He says there are some what are they called? Aarakocra, but they are a different race who are bird-like.
But none of the raven type, none of the raven
Yeah,
ones.
he's not familiar with that.
Whatever cutter is.
Yeah. So he says there are a few Aarakocras in the city, but it's a very rare race also. Um, but if you want, do you tell him why you're looking for them?
No.
Okay, so he just says, yeah, he doesn't know about Kenkus, but there's a different race with wings.
Right. of the whatever they're Arakoka, whatever they are, there are none in the city that have a pass.
You're talking about the Kenku who can mimic things? There's none
Yeah.
of them with a pass.
Okay, so you would never see one then in this district, correct?
Yeah, we shouldn't. If they don't have a pass, they shouldn't be in here.
Okay. So please tell your people to be on alert that there might be one around.
All
If they
right, that'll
see
be
one,
easy to notice.
right. If they notice something like that, let me know.
Okay. Um,
Okay.
and okay, so uh, Joseph Barda, he also says Lord Harvick, I have heard that you have experience with battling monsters.
Yes.
We are looking for adventurers to help us with a case under the Protector's Enclave district. We've had a few people go missing in the sewers, and we've sent one group of guards and a group of adventurers in to look for the original group that went missing, and no one has left. So, if you or you know anyone who could help us out, any we expect it may be some sort of monster.
And where would we go to? Where's the entrance to this?
There's a entrance to the sewers. Um, Probably the easiest one to get into is near to the river. It's let's see, between the Sleeping Dragon and the Winged Wyvern bridges. There's an entrance. But yeah, we're offering a reward for anyone who can help us with this. I wasn't sure if you'd be interested, but I expect you're a powerful warrior, so wasn't sure if you'd be interested.
Okay, I might be interested. Rokas is always up for a fight, so that might make him happy.
He tells you the reward for clearing out the sewer, and with some sort of proof of slaying a monster is 300 gold. Or, it doesn't have to be a monster. Whatever you figure out that has been killing people or making them not come back.
Okay, now why did they go in there to begin with? Why did you send a group
The reason
down there?
we had people trying to map out the sewers because after um the we're reclaiming this area there, and also the other districts, there have been a lot of cave-ins, and um we're pretty sure that some monsters that were in the Underdark and things may have gotten into the sewers at some point, and we're trying to make sure that we can get the sewers working properly again. So we had people in there to excavate and map it out, and the original group didn't return.
Then you sent a second group down, and they didn't return. Also, is that true?
Yeah, the second group was Neverwinter Guard, and the third group were adventurers that we hired.
Okay.
How much do they get paid?
They didn't get paid.
Okay, now where's the sleeping dragon?
That's that's the westmost bridge, which is broken.
Okay, I don't see a sleeping dragon there.
The bridge to the left.
Oh yes, okay, gotcha. The broken one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, okay. I will bring that up the next time I have my meeting
Okay.
with.
If
Okay.
you meet anyone you think could do the job, we will happily show you where you can enter the sewer.
Okay. And then I asked Harold, okay, now I'm thinking, and you can get, I'm interested in that badge. It looks like it's not the typical type of badge around here. And I'm looking at your map, and you have trying to think where the best place to go, where you would have a historian or someone like that that might know what that badge signifies. So,
A lot of records are kept in the House of Knowledge.
that's what I was thinking of. So maybe that'd be the next best place to go at this point, I think.
Possibly.
Okay.
Joseph Bart just suggests that.
So should we take a carriage there then?
Harold says, if you would like, we could do that.
Okay, I would like to do that. That's a
Oh,
copper, right?
okay. Let's flip over to Rokus and Icy then, if you're done at the guard station. Is that right? Yeah? Okay. So we go over to Rokus and Icy as they are just getting up from the table as Harvick had left.
Rokus, do you want to go and see if we can find Cooper and Droop?
Yeah, there's a pawn shop on the way, and I would
Okay.
like to see them. But also, I was thinking it'd be good to go to the Arcane Alley. I think there's a shop there that does magic.
Okay.
I'd like to just see what sort of services they might be able to provide.
Okay, where do you
Okay.
want to head first then?
It's close by.
Okay, well, let's go to the Arcane Alley, seeing as how we're already over here.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay, we're off and...
Okay, so you go down a small road where you have been before, and you see the sign for the shop Arcane Alley. And as you enter, a little bell rings, and you can see, unlike Magnus's tome, this shop is pretty crowded with lots of little items everywhere. And an older, maybe he still has a bit of brown hair, but mostly going gray. He's got a long beard, and he has a red hat, that a red pointy hat with stars and moons stitched onto it. And he kind of looks a bit scruffy, but he comes up and greets you guys, and he says, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
Hello, good sir. My name's Rokus, and my friend here is Icy. And
My name is Yogala.
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 Yogala. Think it was nice to meet you. I have a friend who a dwarf friend who has when we are on we adventure together at times, and he has chainmail armor that's kind of noisy. I was just looking for something that might help this sort of person to be less obvious if they were trying to be quiet. is there anything you have in stock that would help the stealth of a dwarf adventurer?
Let me take a look in the back. I think I might have something that would be useful.
Great.
Right. He's looking in the back. Which is actually me looking something up.
This shop is called the Arcane Alley.
Yeah. The alley is not called Arcane Alley. I know that's a bit confusing.
Okay.
But it's the shop's name. Alright, he brings back a pair of green boots. They look kind of like you can tell that they are elvish designed. And he puts them up on the counter and he says, these boots would probably help you out. So he describes what they can do. It says, while you wear these boots, your steps make no sound, regardless of the surface you are moving across. You also have advantage on dexterity stealth checks that rely on moving silently. Now, with his disadvantage, having advantage would just bring you to be even.
Right.
But that's specifically on that it might not work in every situation because the description here is that your steps make no sound. It doesn't affect your armor and things.
Sure.
So he also mentions now if you wanna get him some armor that's quiet, you probably go to the Glowing Anvil and have them sell you or make you a set of armor with mithril.
I think mithril's ridiculously expensive. I'm not sure we can afford it.
It's expensive, but it's not wildly expensive. There you can things like I see it looks like you've got some. I think so. Is Icy or are you wearing the breastplate, the magic breastplate?
I'm
Either of
wearing
you
it.
have that on? Okay, Icy has it on.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he sees that and he says that breastplate there probably would go for more than mithril. Depends on if it's magic armor, you can get armor that's not magic armor that uses mithril.
I see. Now, is mithril considered a heavy armor?
So you can have something made a heavy armor made in mithril that doesn't that won't give you disadvantage on stealth.
Okay.
So yeah. And then he says there's also adamantine armor is kind of like that it's even like more dense than steel. So you can have a normal set of armor made out of that, something that's not magical, but it'll still give you some extra benefits. And since you don't know what that is, I will tell you that adamantine armor makes it so you can't get hit with a critical hit.
Wow.
But that's the only thing it does.
Okay.
But you can have any kind of armor made out of mithril or adamantine.
What would be the difference, for instance, if I was to get a breastplate for myself made out of mithril as opposed to steel?
It's just more expensive.
Doesn't have any advantages?
Mithril doesn't give you disadvantage. Oh, so if it's a normal piece of armor that doesn't have disadvantage, then it wouldn't really do anything for you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the other stuff gets rid of a critical hit.
don't think it gives you advantage if it's a normal set of armor. I could look it up. Hold on.
Right.
Okay, the other description here is mithril is a light, flexible metal. A mithril breastplate can be worn under normal clothes.
That would be cool.
If the armor normally imposes disadvantage on dex checks or has a strength requirement, the mithril version of the armor doesn't. So it's
But I
just
could
like
wear it.
really light and thin. You
Yeah.
can put it under clothes.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
How what are the price?
Yogala says we don't deal in armor here. You'd have to go to
Okay.
the Glowing Anvil
Okay.
to talk to them.
How much are these boots?
Okay, let me check. He says that the boots are 500 gold.
Yep.
They're
might
called
be-
Boots of Elvenkind.
Okay.
Out of game, the DM thinks Harvick would really like boots called Boots of Elvenkind.
Right. I thought of that. It's something. I mean, sometimes it wouldn't be advantageous for him to wear them under most circumstances, but he could put them on. I could wear them. That would make me particularly quiet and stealthful. So I'll talk to him about them.
He says, yeah, actually one good thing about these magic shoes is that as long as you're a medium-sized creature, they actually conform to your feet.
That's pretty neat. And what again was the advantage? What will they do?
If you're moving, you can't be heard.
It's the footsteps specifically, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you wear these boots, your steps make no sound regardless of the surface you're moving across. You have advantage on dex checks that rely on moving silently. So, just advantage.
Yeah. And it would negate his.
If there was
It
some
wouldn't-
certain situation where
disadvantage.
the armor was like playing a very big role in making noise, I would probably
Right.
describe that like
Sure.
these boots are not really going to help you out this time.
Yeah.
But generally it would be fine. You just get to roll twice. But for Harvick, he's got a -1, so both rolls have a -1, so
Would the -1 would go away, right?
that's what I mean, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
he has advantage, but he's still not good at stealth.
And that's a dex.
And also, like I said, he has disadvantage with his current armor, so it would just even out to a normal roll.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he says that's all we got really for that to help you out with that situation. Anything else you're looking for?
Do you have any let's see. Have any archery enhancing items?
He says,
related?
yes, I do. I have an efficient quiver.
Okay.
And let me pull that up.
How does that work?
Okay. Okay, I'll read it out. Each of the quiver's 3 compartments connects to an extra-dimensional space that allows the quiver to hold numerous items while never wearing more than 2 pounds. The shortest compartment can hold up to 60 arrows, bolts, or similar objects. The mid-sized compartment holds up to 18 javelins or similar objects. And the longest compartment holds up to 6 long objects such as bows, quarterstaffs, or spears. You can draw any item from the quiver contains as if doing so from a regular quiver or scabbard. So it's similar to a bag of holding, but it's only can specifically carry those items there.
Okay.
Mostly long, slender things. But
Yeah.
they're all, it has to be those specific ones. You can't put like carrots in there or
Yeah.
something.
How much is that? Does that cost?
That will be 600 gold.
I just to you for a second over here. Rokus,
Yes.
I have over 5,000 gold right now because I haven't passed it on to Harvick. So if you need more money, I have it. If you feel that this will make a big difference for you.
Well, I plan on. I'd like to pick up those boots, and we can use them back and forth. I can wear them, unless it's something that a situation where we need Harbeck to be quieter.
Okay.
So yeah, I like to come back, but I want to explain to him what's here and see if there's anything he might want to come here and shop too. Um,
Go,
is
can I
that
ask a
go ahead?
you go? Okay, go ahead.
Once you, is there anything you're interested in the shop?
Not that I can think of. I just want to ask Yugal a question.
Oh, Yogala? Yeah. So,
Yogala,
yes,
um,
ma'am.
if we had boots made, if we had, could you take our existing boots and make them
Oh,
magical?
no, sorry, we don't offer that kind of services. We don't really create items. We trade, buy and sell and trade.
Okay, where did you originally buy these boots from, or who?
Some of them are from other wizards. And some are from trades. We get some from the auction house and adventurers every once in a while. But
Okay,
a lot of things sit in here for years without anyone buying them.
okay.
Has anybody shown interest in these boots, the elvish kind boots lately?
Lately, no.
Okay. Um,
We
I
don't get
I
too many adventurers in and out of the city, but yeah, there
mm,
obviously most people don't have cause for these kind of items or the cash.
okay. Well, I'm definitely interested in the boots. I just want to talk to our adventurer partner before I buy them.
All right, if you we can put them on hold for you if you want.
That would be great. Yes, appreciate that. Um,
I'll hold them for let's say not that they're in high demand, but I'll hold them for a few days.
okay, that should be fine. Um, do you have any so you don't have any weapons here?
Let me think. Let me think. Generally, we don't hold carry weapons. Uh, no, I don't think we have anything really.
And do you have a recommendation if we were going to see somebody about um, getting items enchanted? Um, who would you recommend? Do you know anybody that you
Yeah,
consider?
the glowing anvil's the place for that.
Okay, we were there and met a lady that worked for the
Yeah, there's a transmuter there, Anita.
Anita. Yes, um, and the the dwarf that runs the place was pretty rude to her. I noticed.
I think they both are co-owners actually.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't get along.
Very good. Okay. So you can't think of anything you need, Icy?
Um, no, yeah, yeah. I just
Okay.
wanted, I want to get brewing supplies, but I'm going to wait for that till I find somebody that could run it for me once I get
Okay.
it started.
Now the glowing anvil is on its way out of the gate, going to where we would find Droop and
Yeah,
the
so
such. Do you want to stop by there real quick? And I just thought maybe we'd see if Anita was if Anita would do any work for us, sort of on the side.
okay, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Alright, so are you gonna say goodbye to Yogala then?
Yes, thank you, Yagala, and I hope to be back to pick up those boots. They're really nice.
Alright,
Uh, I would like them.
okay. I'll keep them for you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Alright, and yeah, um, I heard you talking about Anita. Um, I think if you if you go off to the glowing anvil, even though she doesn't get along really well with her partner there. His name's Oystein. So she doesn't get along with Oystein well, but they work really well together when it comes down to it.
Oh,
And
okay. So there's
yeah,
not
you're not
much.
gonna find anything better quality than that. And I wouldn't expect she'd want to do something on the side.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay. So
So you guys
we're not
leaving
gonna,
Yogala now?
yeah, but we're not going to bother with the anvil. Let's
Oh yeah.
just go look for Droop. But there's a pawn shop on the way.
Okay. So cutting back to Harbeck now. Uh, he was sneezing on the dusty road with Harold as they uh, got in the carriage over to the House of Knowledge.
Right.
Okay, and you get out. Um, roll a religion check.
12 plus 4, 16.
16? Okay, 16. So you're pretty familiar with this religion. So um, the House of Knowledge is actually a temple to Agama, just a god of knowledge. And you know that they generally, um, one of the main things that they do is gather information, record information, get books from different parts of the world, and yeah, so their temple is basically a library.
Okay.
And this building is quite huge. When you get outside of it, it's about as big as the Hall of Justice, so it's a quite impressive building. Um, it seems to have been recently repaired. And as you enter, you meet a librarian who introduces herself as Scholar Vika Valon. She's a female sun elf.
The female what?
Sun elf.
It's a sun elf.
It is one of the many kinds of elves, and they generally have
She has a sunny disposition.
maybe not. Let's see, paste. They usually have kind of bronze skin, and you don't know too much about the different types of elves, but yeah, just one of the kinds of elves, basically a subrace.
Okay.
Just like there are hill dwarves and mountain dwarves.
Right. And what's her name again?
Vika Valon, and she is a scholar. That's her
Okay.
job title, but she's
Gotcha.
basically the librarian.
Okay.
So she introduces herself. Hello, I am Vika Valon, scholar of the House of Knowledge.
Oh.
How may I help
Okay.
you, my lord paladin?
Yes, I'm looking for a information on some of the old badges for the House of Tyr, and I show a picture that I have taken the tracing and then drawn a picture of what the badge must have looked like that the guy who things were branded with.
Hmm.
I'd like to know if they have a reference book that has all the different badges and where they came from, that sort of thing.
We may have this kind of information in one of our books on the Church of Tyr. Um, as far as I know, we have copies of all of the books from the Hall of Justice as well, unless they're holding out on us. But I will direct you to that section. So she takes you over to um, an area of the library which has religious books, and finds the section with books on the Church of Tyr. And you find a few books that you can look through. Um, so you're looking specifically for symbols.
Symbols and anything that matches the picture that I've drawn.
Yeah. So you thumb through a few of the books, um, and then finally you do find a page with discussing about the symbol of Tyr, but there's no illustrations. But it's going over how the symbol has changed over time. Um, so roll an investigation check and let's see how much useful information you can find.
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta find. Okay, now I'm doing what? Investigation.
Investigation.
Okay. 1 plus 1, 11.
11. Okay, so yeah, this is the best you can find, without any pictures. But it describes that the current recent logo is taller and thinner than the previous standardized logo. The previous one was a bit shorter and more squat, which matches what you had found. And it seems that 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 version of the symbol of Tyr was used more widely about 100 years ago. It seems that even older, as you read through it, there were before that some of the popular ones were within different shapes, like circles and diamond shapes and things.
Okay, so
So
this
it
is
seems
probably
that it wasn't one of those really old ones.
right. So it's an old one, but not that old.
Yeah.
Okay. And I ask Harold now, are there any dwarf or elf paladins that might have used that symbol that are around right now? Dwarves live to be what, 400 years or so. So
Yes,
I'm not sure
yes.
about elves.
Elves live longer than dwarves. Um, so Harold says the only paladin we have um in 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 the city right now is Heidi, who you have met.
Right?
She is from um the Sword Coast. I'm not sure what city, but she's not from a dwarven kingdom.
How
Um,
old is she?
Uh, he says, I've never asked. I'm not sure how old she is. But she doesn't seem especially young or old.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Well,
how old is
thank you very
Harvick? I can't remember. I think
much.
you're about 100.
I think about 150, if I remember correctly. I can check if you want me to.
No, it's okay.
Sounds about.
So yeah. Anything else you want to look up while you're there?
Not right now, thank you. And right across the way is the glowing amble, so I'd like to go there next.
Okay. Um, cool. So I guess your timing is meeting up again. That you might see each other in passing.
Okay.
Um, if you're heading down to the glowing anvil, Rokus is heading up about now. So you guys see each other as you're
Okay.
kind of passing by the glowing anvil.
And I asked Brocus if he's remembering to ask about the badge, and that if anyone has seen anyone wearing that. Has he been doing that like I asked?
Well, I haven't really had a chance. I've only been to one place, but we're heading down to a pawn shop, which is a perfect place to ask about that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you guys want to check in with each other about?
We stopped in at a store that sells magic items.
Uh-huh.
It was quite interesting. Rokus was looking at a pair of boots
Okay.
that have the ability for him to move without making. I mean, to how did you rephrase that?
You,
Your
footsteps.
footsteps don't make a sound, and for the game mechanics, you get advantage on stealth checks.
Okay.
We may want to talk about purchasing things later on.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get a list of what possible purchases we have, and see how much money we have, and then try to figure it out. Still
Okay.
need to. I still need to dispose of some of our loot there that I'll get around to eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
did
and to we have and I know there's some rewards and maybe adventures, and then we can sort of see where we can also make some money.
Yes, and also we can also make some money. Apparently, which Rokus will be liking, is they want us to go down and um, knock off some possible monsters in the sewers. So Rokus should love following in filth and fighting monsters is two of his favorite things. So he should be great.
I think sewers are a natural habitat for dwarves. Don't you have like advantage in the sewer? Nobody can smell you approaching.
Okay, let me go into the glowing anvil.
Harold is like looking at Ice. He's like, do they always fight like this?
Reason I have a drinking problem.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Harvick's going in the glowing anvil. Did you guys want to go with him or keep going?
We'll keep going.
All right. So I'll stay with Harvick because he didn't take that
Yeah.
much time. So you head into the glowing anvil and you meet with a dwarf there. Let's see.
Okay, who's the master blacksmith here, please?
Okay, so he says, "That'll be me, my lord. Nice to see another dwarf."
Yes.
He reaches out his hand for a handshake.
Um, I look at him, sort of abstain, but do extend my hand, allow him to touch her.
Okay, he gives you a hearty handshake. You see that he is like, he's at work. He's not super clean, but he's working in a building that deals with very expensive items. He's definitely not a, he's a rich merchant. He's not of the noble class. But
Okay.
he introduces himself as Oystein Irontooth. So he has a dwarven clan, Irontooth.
Okay.
So
wait a
he is a
minute.
proper dwarf
Okay.
from a clan.
Oystein, you say?
Oystein. Alright, so he says, "How can I help you, my lord?"
Okay. I see a rag. I walk over and without asking, take the rag and wipe my hand.
Mm.
Come back, and I show him the tracing that I made of the chains.
Okay, the
And
chains you said?
yeah,
Okay,
or on the body, I made a tracing of that.
yeah.
I show it to him and I say there was no rust or anything on the chains, so they must be fairly new. Do you recognize what blacksmith would make a set of chains like this? You should be, if you're a master, you should be able to look at the way the links are put together and such to figure out who the blacksmith must have been.
Okay, he looks at them and says, "Well, I make weapons, but looking at the size and spacing of these chains, I'd guess it's something that you'd buy at one of the general stores. It's nothing special. Nothing special looking about it. Looks like it was cast in a kind of mass-produced sort of way. Nothing special looking about them."
Who would make chains? Who would make chains like that?
Mm, Probably if you wanted to buy it, you'd go to one of the general stores, and I guess they get it from one of the small blacksmiths around. But Oystein, he's not really familiar. He doesn't have anything to do with them. He's the biggest place in town, and he deals with like master crafted weapons and things. He doesn't make chains or nails or anything like that. So
So
he
you don't
has
have. So there is no blacksmith guild.
guilds are illegal in the town. Lord Neverwinter banned them.
So how many places would be selling chains around here?
Uh, if you just get some chains like that, I would think you could find them at Dumitri's or Trader George's, I think it is, in the River District. But yeah, you should probably, if you poke around, you can probably find some blacksmith somewhere in the River District, I guess.
Okay, thank you. And then I ask Harold. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bank. I would like you to go to the guard station and tell them to ask around and see if anybody has sold chains recently, and if so, to who. You do that while I go to the bank, and then I can meet you back. Meet you back at the bridge by the Winged Wyvern. We get done. Is that all? Can you do that?
Hold on. The winged wyvern is the bridge.
Right. I was going to meet him at the bridge after I've gone to the bank and he's gone to
Yeah.
the
I just you
the
said
guard house.
buy the winged wyvern, so I was just saying
Right.
that's the bridge's name.
Yes,
So
correct. The middle
um
bridge.
yeah. Okay, so you said you can you say that again what you wanted him to do?
I want him to go to the guard station and ask the guards, send somebody around to the various shops that sell chains. The
Okay.
chains, those chains were there. Looks like they were fairly new.
Yeah.
Way you described the corpse. So
Okay.
I want to see if there's a blacksmith who has sold chains recently, and if so, to who.
Okay. Harold says, "Yes, my lord, I can do that for you."
Okay, so I'll meet you back at the Winged Wyvern then, and I'm on my way to the bank.
Okay. I will meet you there as soon as I'm done. Okay, cool. Let's flip back over to Rokus.
Rokus and Icy.
Yep. So
We're headed.
you're walking out of the Protector's Enclave. Is that
Yeah.
right?
we're
Into the
going to the
Freeland
pub.
District.
Do we see Jake at the gate?
No.
Okay. Who's at the gate today?
You don't recognize any of them.
Look like one of them's in charge.
Yeah, if you want to go introduce yourself or ask them anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go up to the guards and they're just looking at you. Say, yes.
Yes, I am recently traveled from Phandelver and have been noticing in the scar that there it doesn't seem to be much in the way of patrols or anything in the evenings. Are any of the guards available for hire in the evenings as or off duty guards available as escorts?
They look at each other and
Or for
say, no, we don't do that.
Okay, no off duty guard work, huh?
We're not supposed to do that kind of thing.
Okay. Just inquiring. Now, there's a pawn shop south of here. Do they have a good reputation?
I don't think they do. They laugh at each other.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm Rokus, and my companion is Icy, and I'm sure you'll be seeing us around.
They say, okay, my name's Brian.
Good to know you. And
All right.
we met Jake the other night, and I made sure he knew we were ourselves enjoying the evening in the scar, but he warned us that it was a rough place.
Yeah, well, the scar is not as bad as the surrounding area.
What's the surrounding area? You mean like
I mean,
the
the
Beggar's
rest of
Nest?
the rest of the Freeland district.
I see. Is the Beggar's Nest like the hot spot for trouble?
Not exactly, but it's. I mean, it's called Beggar's Nest because that's where all the most destitute go.
Okay. How about
We
the
heard
big?
about it. We heard about a shoemaker. Do you have any idea where he's located?
No, but there's lots of shops in the Scar.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. So we head down past the Shrine of Tyr to the pawn shop.
You go into this pawn shop and it's pretty small in the front. There's a couple like benches and then there's a counter with iron bars and a little like hole, and you can see there's a human male behind the counter, behind the bars, and he's like bald. He's got oily black hair and a mustache, a kind of frizzy mustache. He says, "Oh, hello."
Hello. Says, I was just curious. When you take items for pawn,
Mm-hmm.
how long do you keep them before you sell them if people don't retrieve them?
How long do we keep him?
Yeah. I mean, how long between when, let's say I was to pawn an item, if I didn't come back and pay for it, how long do you keep them before before you sell them?
Okay, I'm realizing now that I must not know how a pawn shop works.
You bring in your item, okay, and usually it's weekly, okay, but it can be any length of time that you barter. And there's the length of time, it's usually weekly, and then you pick an interest, and it's usually around 5%. Okay, if you
Actually,
don't
it'd
come
be a
back, if
ton
you
more
don't
than
come back,
that.
right, if you don't come back after that week, then they will have that item up for sale. If you don't have enough money to buy your item back, then what you will do is you will just pay for the interest. So they'll keep it as long as you keep paying the interest on it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
at the point where they stop paying you on a regular basis, then you would sell the stuff. That's why pawn shops usually look like stores.
Right.
They have all the stuff.
Yeah, they have all the stuff out there that nobody, and most people, actually more times than not, when people come in, they're planning on selling it. They're not planning on coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
It's
why they
actually
only
rare.
give them.
Yeah, people either come back after the week or 2 weeks or whatever it is and buy it back, or they were planning on selling it to begin with. But occasionally, if you've got something you really, really want but need the money, you'll sit there and pay the interest until you can actually buy it back.
Right.
Okay. He's gonna do basically the standard situation like what Harvey described there.
Okay.
So he'll keep stuff for around a week.
Um, I was just curious if you have any items of the Church of Tyr that people have brought in. Um, Also, interested in any weaponry that people have left that have been pawned.
All right, let me take a look in the back. So he goes in the back, and then he comes back with a candlestick. It has the symbol of Tyr in the middle of it. It's like on a round part.
Like embossed.
Yeah, it's in a circle shape though.
Uh-huh.
This
What's it made out of?
it's silver.
Ah. And the I have the drawing that Harbeck gave me of the brand.
Yeah.
Is it all similar?
It's not at all similar because the one in the brand is in a shield shape. This one's in a circle.
In a circle. Okay. And it's not squat. It's not
Yeah,
an
it's
old
not
one.
like it at all, really.
Okay. And that's all you've got on that?
Yeah, I got a weapon here.
Okay.
What kind
Now this is
kind of
a
weapon?
this is a long sword. Has a interesting history.
Okay, we'd
Okay.
love to hear about it.
So, this sword. Have you ever heard of Phandelver?
Yes, we've
Yes.
been there.
there was a great hero there named Aldith Tresendar, the Black Hawk. He died fighting orcs below his manor. This is his sword.
And how did you come by it?
Oh, someone sold it to me.
How long
Good.
ago?
Oh, maybe a year ago.
Oh,
No,
not
if it has any magical powers?
Oh, probably, yeah.
probably.
He swings it
Yeah.
around. It looks like a totally normal longsword.
Okay.
Like, it looks like something the Neverwinter Guard would have.
Okay.
I think he's bullshitting us.
What's this guy's name?
What the person who owned the sword? Or
Pawn
the
shop owner.
oh he
Person.
my name's Ricky. They call me Slick
hi.
Rick.
Hi, Rick. I'm Rokus, and this is Icy.
Yeah.
Who was it that owned this sword again?
You mean like the hero?
Yeah.
Aldith Tresendar. People call him the Black Hawk.
Now it looks like just a plain sword.
No, no,
Wouldn't
no. Look at it. It's nice.
well, it
He
might
like
be
bangs
nice.
it on the table. Bang, bang, bang.
Does it ring when he bangs it?
No, it just clunks.
Okay. Doesn't look like anything special to me.
Well, I'll sell it to you
I
for 50
expect the
gold.
Black Hawk to have a sword that had a good enough temper that when you banged it, it would ring.
Well, I didn't know swords had tempers. Are you saying because it's magic, it could be angry or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, anyway,
How is it?
it's 50
How is it
gold.
magic? 50 gold.
It's like, if you hit somebody with it, it'll hurt really bad.
I see.
Like, they'll be like, ow!
I have a old rusty short sword here. It's pretty much the same thing.
Oh, what hero had that?
Yeah, it's an elven hero named Rokus.
Oh, okay. I'll buy it for I'll give you
If we
10 gold for it.
actually,
No,
I
that's
have
too
used.
much. Actually, I meant to say 10 silver.
I'll hold on to it. I have use for it.
Oh.
Is that, and that's the only
I have this
weapon.
vase here. It was owned by King Alagondar of Neverwinter. It's 500 gold for this one.
How about armor? Do you have any armor?
Yeah. He brings out some rusty chainmail. He says, "This was King King, King Alagondar's uncle had this. It's very high quality. He knocks on it and some of the chains break.
How about the mace? What does it look like?
Mace? Oh, no, vase. There is a vase.
Oh,
A vase.
Yes.
Yes. Excuse me. It's a vase.
Yeah.
It was owned by King Alagondar.
Okay.
The true king of Neverwinter.
Is there anything interesting about it?
Well, it survived the eruption of Mount Hautenau, and I guess someone it was taken out of the castle.
Can I do an investigation roll and see if there's anything in this place that isn't crap?
Sure.
And Slick Rick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
There was a fellow named Geoff that was killed, and he was known to be a thief. Did he ever bring you any stuff?
Oh, I don't deal with thieves, obviously.
But did you deal with him? And it might have been did
Are you
Geoffrey?
guys saying, are, did you have something you wanted to sell? There's no question asked here.
Right. What uh, what I see wanted to know is, had you done business with
Geoff.
yeah.
It's actually Jeff. It's just Jeff.
Okay.
But he says, no, I didn't know Jeff.
Okay. So he wasn't a regular customer or anything.
Nah.
That's a good question there. I see.
Alright, you wanted to
Okay.
do an investigation roll, right?
Yeah. My investigation was 12. Is there anything in the shop that's not complete crap that happened to be owned by kings and princes and
So,
heroes?
from what you see, everything looks pretty normal level. Like, it doesn't seem like any of it's,
Or mystical powers or
yeah. But,
special.
roll a insight check.
Both of us or just Rokus?
Either, yeah, both of you can do it.
I got a 13. And insight, I get +6, so that would be like 19.
I only got a total of 9.
Okay,
2 plus
he
7.
rolled a 19 on his deception. So you just think he's probably not telling the truth about the items. But
Yeah.
Icy is actually like into all his stories. She thinks this all sounds amazing.
Yeah.
She's like, wow.
It's interesting.
Including whether or not she'd done business with Jeff before.
If he's lying about that, then she doesn't know. For you, you'd think he probably didn't deal with you.
Okay, great. That's great. Okay. Okay, I guess we're gonna head out and look for Droop. Oh, let's ask him also if he knows any shoemakers that have arrived in town recently.
No. Why? I got some shoes. You want to buy some shoes? I got these shoes. They were once owned by the Prince of Shala Shala.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, come back anytime.
Oh,
I'm
If you have
looking
anything you
forward
want to
to it.
sell.
I have some orc teeth that came from the Prince of Shala Shala too.
Oh, cool. I'll buy it for 3 copper.
Yeah, I had to kill this orc to get him.
Oh,
That
okay.
was worth more than 3 copper. Okay, so we're heading out.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk to you, Rick.
All right.
By the way, I see all that stuff was junk.
Oh, I know, but it looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, I love the stories. Everything belonged to some prince. So, do you want to go by the cheese guy, Bill, the cheese guy, and see if he knows about the where we might find Droop and the cobbler?
Droop and Cooper? Sure.
Yeah.
So let's cut back to Harvick. He's going up towards the bank. I think you took a coach. Is that right?
Yep.
So make sure
1
you
copper.
take off the copper for that.
Off the copper.
And so you arrive outside of the Many Coins Bank.
Okay.
And it is a pretty large building. Very grand entrance. And outside the entrance there are some strange very intimidating looking guards, which are helmed horrors. They're like animated armor, suits of armor with like flames shooting out of them.
Okay.
They look like you probably wouldn't want to mess with them. Okay, so you enter past the helmed horrors and into a grand, wide open room with some teller stations and things. And there's someone there who greets you. Says, "Hello, my lord. I don't recognize you. Are you a new um, applicant
Applicant.
for an account?"
Yes. Um, I'm gonna take. I would like to deposit some money.
Okay. We
Okay.
will have to open an account for you.
Okay.
Uh, we have a few different accounts. We have a standard account that costs a 10 gold fee. The minimum account balance would be 800 gold. Um, or you can get a premium account. Open that would cost 50 gold, and you get a many coins credit available at certain locations in the Sword Coast region. You would be able to purchase things directly from the store.
Okay, and that's 50 gold.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
And so
And I'm
remember,
good.
the minimum account balance would be 800 gold at all
Okay,
times.
right. And I will. I'll deposit 90% of the money of my money and 90%, 100%, 90% of my money and 100% of the money Rick Rokas gave me. And I'll figure that out later because I'll have
Okay,
to do
sure.
some exactly how much that is, and we never figured out how much Rokas was going to take with him. So Richard and I will work on that at some point in time.
Okay, so you put in a large amount of money that
Right.
we will figure out later.
Right, and then also I'm interested in our Jules legal tender here that banks deal with, or do I have to go somewhere else?
The bank. So yeah, he says the bank, we don't deal in jewels and such. But I can recommend for you some places you could go.
Okay, who would you recommend?
Um, Now for selling, it depends on the quality of the gemstones. Uh, the higher end store is Clear Sky Jewelers, which is in the Lake District, near to Nathaniel's Luxury Supplies. And they would be able to buy more expensive gems from you. And there's another lower end store, the Stonehammer Jewelry, over in the River District. If you have cheaper gemstones that Clear Sky is not interested in, you would be able to sell them over there.
Okay, well I'm a mountain dwarf lord. It seems to me I should be able to look at what we have and determine what's low class and what's high class without any problem.
Yeah, you don't have proficiency in um the tools that are required for that, like to get your proficiency bonus. But yeah, you would be familiar enough to do a normal roll and know what you're looking at.
Okay. So do it all at once, or do I do it item by item?
You'd have to go item by item at the store. I have a list of what you have and what it's worth. but they're all individually listed here.
Okay, so you want to wait till I actually go to the store to do it?
Yeah. So do you want? You didn't spend long here at the bank. You want to go over there?
Yeah, I'll go to the high-end store.
Okay. And as the person explains your bank account, they say they do offer an interest rate of 0.1% per month.
Okay, so it's like a savings account then.
Yeah.
What's the credit limit?
It's debit. You can take out loans. That will be separately. But yeah, you can basically actually, so as you start your account, they're gonna give you a membership card. Many Coins Bank membership card. It's actually a magic item that you can use it kind of like a credit card, but it only works at very few high-end places. But you should note that down, that you have a Many Coins Bank membership card.
A magical card.
Yeah. Okay, Harvick.
Okay.
Okay, and then you go over to the Clear Sky Jewelers. Are you gonna take another coach?
Where's Clear Sky Jewelers?
It's up near the wall in the north side. It's on the map. North of
yes.
Blue Lake.
I'll walk that one. That's not that far.
Okay, as you walk through this area, you see lots of rich nobles walking around in their striped shirts. Striped jackets, I should say. And a few of them bow and nod towards you as you go by. Okay, and then you get over to Clear Sky Jewelers.
Okay,
You enter and you see a male human. He says hello to you. Says, "Hello, my name is Terence Crawford."
Crawford?
Yes, Terence Crawford. I think I went overboard with the snootiness.
Yes, you did.
But I was enjoying it.
What's the name of that place?
Clear Sky Jewelers. My lord, how may I help you?
We have some jewels that I would like you to appraise, and I will possibly sell them.
Oh, yes, I would be interested in seeing them.
So I'm looking at see, we've got 6 diamonds and 9 small gems. That's what I'm seeing. And then 5 malachite gems. That fit what you have?
Okay, so you show him all of your stuff. And, so he's looking through and he's identifying things which are of higher value. So the small gemstones, he's not interested in them. He's interested in the diamonds. Did you show him the gold necklace with emerald pendant?
No.
Do you want to?
No.
No? Okay. 3 diamonds here. I have 2. You have gotten 3 diamonds twice. Is what I have. So 6 diamonds.
What I've got.
Yeah, those are the only things he's interested in. So he says, these all seem to be of a standard quality. I can give you 100 gold for each diamond. So 600 gold.
Okay.
If you want to do a roll to check if you think that's reasonable, you can do a
Okay.
investigation.
5 + 1, 6.
All right, you're off your game today with these, and you're not sure. So you didn't roll very well. Harvick doesn't know that Harvey didn't roll very well, so he thinks he's doing a good job. Um, and so Harvick thinks, yeah, that sounds perfect. 600, no problem.
Okay. I will do that then. In accordance to the game.
Yeah.
I will also ask him, okay, for materials that are more of an artistic value, what would be the
Yes.
best place? What would be the best place to deal with those?
Most of the jeweler shops will deal in art items as well. If it's a very high priced item, you could set up an auction at the Tarmaloon auction house. Um, and you possibly at Nathaniel's Luxury Supplies, they might deal in such things. But if you have any kind of ornamented item like a mug or something like that, I would be interested in looking at it.
I I'm trying to. I want a bargain.
Okay. For which one?
Oh, all right. I want a bargain for the. We'll do the Electrum mug first.
Okay. That's
Here's
high
the thing.
quality enough that he's interested in it.
Okay. But I want to start now going. Now you can see that this is a really and what I'm trying to do here. I can talk to the dungeon master.
Yeah.
Okay, is that I want to be able to roll the persuasion on there. So I'm going to sit there and tell him what a wonderful thing this is, and doesn't he really like it? And he this would really be good for them to have.
Okay,
So I want
so
to be able to roll.
um first let's have you determine what you think it's worth.
Okay.
So roll an investigation again. See how accurate towards the actual price of its value you get.
17 + 1, 18.
Alright, so that's a good roll. So you know that this is worth 100 gold.
Emerald thing is?
The Electrum mug,
Oh, the electrum mug. Right. Right.
yes,
Okay.
is worth 100 gold.
Okay. So
So
I'm
you want
gonna
to get more than that.
try, and I want to, persuade him that this is a real art piece. So it's not just the electrum that it's worth,
Yes.
but also the art.
Okay.
So I'm going to
So,
give him a big long spiel about how wonderful it is.
alright, you want to roll for that then?
Okay, so I can do persuasion, right?
Yeah, persuasion.
Okay, 1 + 6, 7. After all that,
Alright, he rolled a 17, so he's not
oh,
buying it.
okay.
He says, I have definitely seen higher quality mugs, but it is finely made. I'll give you 100 gold for it.
Ah, shit. Okay.
Tell him no thanks,
Right.
Olivia.
Okay. Okay. So now we'll try the
Are you,
emerald.
are you gonna sell it to him for 100?
Yeah, because I know it's worth 100.
Yeah. Okay. And now what do you want to try to do?
The wooden pipe with the
Platinum inlays.
right, yeah.
He's also interested in that. Let's have you determine the price first. So investigation.
11 + 1, 12.
Okay, it's fine. You think it's um around 150 gold? Worth 150 gold?
persuade him that with all the artwork and all that sort of stuff, that it's worth $250.
Well, okay. So it's gonna be
100 more than it really is.
yeah.
Yeah, investigation is what I think it's worth, and then persuasion is what I'm going to try to convince him it's worth.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll your persuasion.
10 plus 6, 16.
Okay. So his rolls he didn't do well on his investigation, but he did well on resisting your persuasion. So he says, how about 200?
25.
225?
Yeah.
All right.
Meet you in the middle.
He's gonna try to persuade you down. So let's do one more roll.
What do I roll? Persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion again against his persuasion.
8 plus 6, 14.
He got 17.
Take 200.
So he gets you at 200.
All right. Guess I got to do 200.
Yeah.
Okay. And now
You did get more than it's worth.
Now we have the Jade frog with golden eyes.
He says, "Oh, might take that to the river district. I'm not interested in that one. Cute,
Okay.
but I don't think anyone would buy it from me."
Four silver goblets. Okay. 4 silver goblets set with moonstones.
He looks at them. Moonstones. It's not quite what my clientele would be interested in.
Okay.
Let me see.
Then,
out of the stuff you have, I think that's all that he'd want to buy.
Yeah. I think you're right.
But yeah, and you're not interested in showing him the gold necklace with the emerald pendant.
I can show it. Yeah, okay, I'll show it to him.
Okay, this one let me do an investigation. Okay, yeah. It's like, ooh, wow. Now that's nice. I'll give you 200 gold for that.
Okay, and what do I think?
You can roll an investigation to see if that sounds right.
7 plus 1, 12.
Okay. You think that sounds reasonable? That sounds like what it's worth.
So he's saying it's worth 200?
Yeah.
Okay, I will use my persuasion to convince him that it's really worth 300.
Okay. Well, he's gonna persuade you it's 200, so we'll roll off again. He got a 17.
That's what I got.
Okay, let's roll one. Let's do another roll then.
Okay.
I got a 12.
I got a 16.
Okay, you win. So what you said 300, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, yeah, I have a customer who was looking for something like this in particular. So I will go ahead and buy it from you for 300.
Okay. Okay, so that should do it for our dealings here.
I bid you good day, my lord. It was wonderful doing business with you.
Yes, I enjoyed that too.
So you got like 1,200 gold out of that, I think.
Yeah. We got some more stuff we can get too.
Out of game, how much were the diamonds worth?
They're worth 100. He gave you the right price.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the Winged Wyvern to meet Harold.
Okay. And I didn't write down how much you spent, so did you keep track of that?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to take the carriage to the wyvern.
All right. So spend another copper there, and we'll flip back over to Ruckus and Icy. And let me see. Where were you guys? You were leaving the pawn shop.
Yeah,
we
we're
were
gonna
leaving
go
the
sit.
pawn shop. And we were headed to Bill the cheese guy.
All right. So you make your way down the road into the Scar, and you're walking around. Let's have you do a perception check since it's very crowded. See what you can see and smell.
11 plus 4, I have a total of 15.
Investigation?
No, perception, he said.
Perception.
Yeah. Looking and smelling.
Oh, okay. I got +6. 17.
All right. So you smell the Freeland Blue,
Ooh.
but you don't see where it is. Ruckus, do a survival check. On Icy can do it too.
Survival?
Yeah, for following the scent.
Okay.
You picked up the scent.
I'm looking for
I have a
survival.
total of
Plus
6.
6.
I have a
Oh.
total of 6.
Okay.
Mine would be 24 would be the total.
All right. Icy thinks it's one way, but you're definitely sure it's the other way.
So he grabs me by the arm and leads me that way.
I guess so. So you managed to find Bill's stand. It's in a different place than it was last time. And yeah, the smell of the Freeland Blue brings you right to it. He says, "Hello, Ruckus.
Hello, Bill.
How's it going?"
And
Doing well. You've relocated.
Yeah, someone took my spot.
Oh. Was that a better spot?
It's fine.
Okay. Does that happen much? You guys
Yeah, it
move around a lot?
happens. Well, yeah. If you don't want your stuff to get messed up in the night, you gotta like pack it all up, and then if you're not there quickly enough in the morning,
I see.
yeah. But some
We
people they
heard-
just sleep at the same place as their shop. So
Say that again?
Some people sleep at their shop, so they don't move around. But
Right.
I don't.
the acquaintance of ours has started up a shop here. It's Cooper and Dwarf, I think is the name of their store. They make shoes. Have you encountered them at all?
Cooper and Dwarp?
Yeah.
I don't know about Cooper and Dwarp.
Droop.
Droop?
Droop is a goblin.
Oh.
And they make shoes.
Shoes. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know that.
well,
There's a lot of stores, so haven't had a fight with them yet.
Okay.
I remember a couple guys who give me trouble. I don't remember
Somebody gave
everybody
you
else.
trouble?
Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Well, shouldn't be trouble with our friends. What sort of trouble?
Oh, just taking my spot and stuff. But it's not, don't worry about it. I'm fine. So, anything you wanted to...
Have you seen the kids that we'd worked with before?
Talking about Tika and Gio?
Yeah.
Yeah. They stop by every day to get some food.
Okay.
I guess it's only been like a day or two, so... Yeah, they stopped by.
And they're in a tent near back where you had been before?
Yeah. I think they should still be in the same spot.
Okay. I don't remember what other establishments were here in this part of town.
You didn't really explore it that much. You just found
No.
Bill's.
Yeah, and then we had met with the kids, and we stayed in that horrible hotel that we're not going to stay in again.
Yes,
Yeah,
dear.
yeah. Bill, we were in the pawn shop talking to Slick Rick. He's quite the character.
Okay. I'm not familiar with him.
No.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be such a great guy. Did you want to pick up a piece of cheese? And we were given you money to pay for the cheese for the kids, right?
Yeah,
We've
you already
we
did that.
paid for a week.
Okay.
Do we want to get some hard cheese then?
Sure.
Okay. How much is that?
So hard cheese is one. It's basically a day of rations, and it costs 4 silver.
I'll chip in too if you chip in too.
Okay, shall do. It is done. What is there any news as of late, Bill? Anything you've heard?
I think Tika and Geo had something for you.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you very much. We very much enjoy your cheese.
Yeah. Thanks. Did you tell anybody about the shop? I have had more business recently.
Everybody we run into, we sing your praises.
Great. Thanks. Alright, come back whenever you need some cheese.
Okay. And
Most definitely will.
If you see a lordly dwarf come by, that's Harvick. He's somebody we know. If you give him a good price, that would be great.
I usually give the same price to everybody.
Okay. Very good. Well, we'll tell him that we'll also let him try some of your cheese, see how good it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go look for Tika and Geo.
Uh-huh. Okay, roll another perception check for looking around.
This time I got a 22. Yeah, 22.
I've got a total of 17.
Okay, you guys, you on the way up to where you think Tika and Geo should be, you see past a few tents that there's a sign that says Coop and Droop.
All right. Let's stop in.
Okay.
There's a sign. It's got a picture of a shoe on it, and it says Coop and Droop. And as you walk up, you see Cooper, the male human, and Droop, the male goblin, and they're working on some shoes.
Hello, Coop. Hello, Droop.
Oh,
it's nice to see you.
And Droop jumps up and says, "Oh, Ruckus! Oh, wow, you're here."
We are here. We heard you had come to Neverwinter.
Yeah.
And we're here looking for you.
Wow.
And
What's that?
And how's the business doing?
Oh, pretty good.
So you've become skilled in shoe work, huh?
I'm still an amateur, I guess, but Cooper does most of the high-end shoes, but I'm still learning to make the basic model.
That's very good. We're proud of you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm earning money now.
That's very excellent. I think Droop, you met Harvick, was the dwarf that was with me the last time we talked in Phandelver.
Yeah. I helped. I think I gave you the doorknob, and then he was saying you were gonna steal things and stuff.
That's right. Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at picking locks, but generally I don't steal stuff.
Oh,
Um,
well, that's good.
but I did break into a big safe we found that would have been really hard. I
Oh,
was lucky. Um,
cool.
we've had some real adventures since we saw you last.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we
All right,
went
do you want
to
to tell them, like, you don't have to actually tell him everything if you don't want to, but
yeah. I'll
you
tell them
can
about
regale him with your stories if you'd
yeah.
like.
And the most amazing was when we drove off the dragon in Thunder Tree.
Oh, yeah. So he's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. You should tell a bard or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
We want, and we're looking to do some work where there's been some murders that have happened recently, and we want to investigate that.
Oh, I heard about some murders.
Yeah, and there's a, so a pack of thieves call themselves the Rat Pack.
Oh, I don't know them.
You don't know them?
No. I mostly stay here with Coop. He said, you know, a lot of people don't like goblins. So,
Yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah,
be
there's
careful.
prejudice everywhere.
yeah, I don't go out too much. And
Well, we'll
obviously, I don't have a visitor's pass. I can't go into the main city.
we'll we'll put in a good word for you and let people know that we are that we've worked with you and that you're reputable.
Okay.
If you happen to hear anything, keep your eyes open for information that um, anything you hear about the Rat Pack. The other thing, if you happen to remember Harbeck, um, he was from the Church of Tyr,
Uh huh.
and when you have people there, we're looking for, and I'll bring out the paper,
Uh huh.
and I show him the picture of the brand,
Uh huh.
and tell him about the difference between the old and the new um, symbol for Tyr.
Yeah.
So if you happen to notice anybody with a staff or a badge or any ornament that has this older looking squat Church of Tyr symbol on it, um, try to take note of who it is,
Okay.
and anything about them that you can tell us, and we'll check back with you from time to time.
All right. If I see any of the priests, I'll take a look.
Yeah, and yeah, now we're off to got
So,
some business.
do you think the priests actually did it?
I don't know why the Church of Tyr would want to be associated with something so unjust as torture. It doesn't really fit in. I think it's my feeling is that it's more likely somebody who wants to make the church look bad than somebody who's from the church. But I could be wrong.
Oh.
Might be a might be a person from the church who's just not not playing by the rules.
Huh. Okay. Well, it's nice seeing you, Ruckus.
Yeah, good seeing you, Droop. Good seeing
Yeah.
you, Cooper.
Yeah, you should tell more people about your adventures.
Yeah, I like your idea of letting the bard know. That would be cool. We'll tell him about Lord Harbeck. Let him be the hero.
But it was you and Linnea and speaking of Linnea, where is she?
I think she's here in the city, isn't she? Icy?
Yeah, she had some business she was going to take care of.
Oh. Okay. Well,
We'll,
tell her I
we'll
said
tell,
hi then.
We will tell her you asked about her.
And you
Okay.
stay in this location all the time?
Yeah, we're sleeping here, so we don't move our tent.
Okay, because I'm thinking of starting up a brewery. If I did, would you be willing to work for me on the side as well?
If I had extra time, but I'm actually pretty busy here.
Okay.
But
I could
you could
help you
have a
find, like, I could help you out finding people maybe. But,
Okay.
I still don't know that. I don't have a lot of friends yet. So maybe
you could
Cooper can help with that more.
have a set up a brewery and have a cobbler shop as part of it.
So Cooper's there too, and he says, yeah, if you guys want any tips on getting started in the Scar, I could help you.
Well, that
But
would
I
be
don't know if
great.
you're trying to do if you want to, buy land and everything, that's gonna cost a lot of money.
Yeah, we'll see how we do with our adventures. We may be taking on a job clearing out the sewers that when we've
All right.
yeah.
Sounds gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
Well, nice seeing you guys.
Okay, see ya.
Let everybody know about Coop and Droop.
Okay,
Yeah,
shall do.
I'll definitely let them know about Coop and Droop.
Cobbler and Cordwainer Services.
Yeah, excellent. Do you have anything special that you make that people should know about?
Oh, we make all kinds of shoes. Fine shoes, common shoes, traveler shoes, costume shoes, and I bet you can't get a better price.
Excellent. Very good.
Thank you. And best of luck with your store.
Oh, thanks. All right, so you guys are going out of there. So you're still looking for the kids, right? Let's go. Let's keep going on with the kids. We're getting sort of to the end of the time, so
Yeah.
this might
Got
be the
half an
last
hour
thing we
more.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave right around 11:30 too.
Okay, we'll see how it goes,
We
but
got time for one more Harvex.
it's like 20 minutes left. So
Yeah. You
um
want to do Harvex next,
he was gonna
or
check
find
in.
the kids?
I think let's stick with the kids. I guess I don't. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah, so you go looking for Tika and Geo. Do a survival check to find where they are. Both of you can try.
11 for me.
Was this again?
Survival.
I got a total of 17.
Alright, Icy's doing better this time, and she leads you. When you try to go off the wrong way, she says, "No, I think it's this way," and takes you back to the spot where Bill's cheese used to be. You see someone there selling, like wooden bowls and vases and things. And you turn around the corner and find Tika and Gio's tent. And they're actually in there.
Hi, Tico. Hi, Gio. How
Hi.
have you been this last day?
Pretty good. We had our cheese. Thank you.
Oh, very. And have you been able to find any work to help yourself out?
Well, you said you guys would help us if we find some information for you.
And did you?
We tried. But, I don't know if it's useful. I can tell you what I
Would be
saw.
good. Okay.
So I saw this guy. He looks like a cat. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Okay.
He was like scratching around the pawn shop.
That sounds like very good information.
Did he go in the pawn shop?
He was like scratching on a fence behind it.
Very interesting. Do you know what's behind the fence?
I didn't go there because I thought he was weird.
That's good. You stay safe.
And the kind of scratching that he was doing?
I didn't go to check it out. He was maybe drawing something.
Yes.
But I
What
didn't
I
look
want
what
you,
it was.
that's fine. I'm going to give you extra copper here. And what
Okay.
I'd like for you to do is later go back and look at what he scratched. And
Okay.
then,
Only if it's safe to do so.
yeah,
Okay.
just do it during the day. And it'd be good if you didn't let other people see what you're doing.
Oh.
Approach it as if you're doing something else, and just look at it sidelong. So
Okay.
and take a good look at it though, and if you can recreate that, if it's simple, I'll go look at it. I'll go look for it later. But what I really want you to do is to see what that style of markings is, and then look around without letting other people know you're doing it. Look around and see if you see any of those markings anywhere else. Sometimes they'll be scratched. Sometimes they might be done with charcoal or chalk,
Okay.
um, or even maybe even in the dirt. If you see them anywhere, that I'll pay you for any information I can track down more of those. We're interested in that.
Okay.
Okay?
So I that was good. I mean, you
That
like
was
that
that
information?
that was very
Very.
good information.
Okay. So
Here's
that was the girl Tika
okay.
and
Here's a copper for both of you.
okay. So he takes it. Um and Geo says he didn't really find anything um useful, but he wants to know like are there any other things we should look for?
Yes, actually. Go ahead, Icy.
Yeah, we've been hired to investigate the murders. So if you hear anything about them, you know, don't go asking questions. But if you hear people talking about it, if you will relay any information back to us.
Okay.
And I do have something I'd like for you to keep an eye out for.
Okay. Are
And
you
I'll
gonna
just,
show him the tier thing again?
yeah,
Yeah, you don't have
I'm
to
gonna,
go through the whole thing again. So,
I'll
yeah, you
explain it to them.
explained they should look out for the symbol.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's all they had for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing well.
We're doing okay.
Okay. Stay safe.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, actually, looking at my notes, it's only been a day since you met them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
that's
what?
Okay.
Yeah, so now it's afternoon of day 34, right?
yeah. You met them on day 33 in the afternoon. So it's been about just a day. Okay. We have 15 minutes. Let's do Harvick's meeting up with Harold.
Okay.
Okay, so at the Winged Wyvern, you meet him. It's quite crowded on that bridge. There's lots of carts moving across and stuff, and so Harold says Okay, I told them about. I went to the Neverwinter guard station and I told them about your idea about the chains. They said that they're probably would be sold at Demetrius General Store. Um, uh, the Lion Shield Coster sells arms and armor, but they might sell chains there, and also Trader George's Provisions. And they said there are a few small blacksmiths around the city, mostly in the river district, that do small projects like making nails and things.
Okay. So they can go to those places and find out if anyone sold chains recently.
Uh, yeah, they said they can do that. I told
Right.
them that it's related to the murders, so yeah. I didn't tell
Okay. Now
them a lot of other information though.
that was perfect. Okay. Now the we've been given a quest, possibly by the guards, to go down into the sewer system.
Yeah,
They were saying they think it might be monsters.
yeah,
But my understanding is that the Lord's Alliance, basically the ones that handle out quests about killing monsters and such. So before we do that, I'm thinking about going to Fort Moonstone. You said that's where the Lord's Alliance is.
that's
See if
right.
they have more information about what they think's going on there.
Okay. I think in this situation it's part of the city itself that it probably would be generally under the Neverwinter Guard's jurisdiction. Mostly the Lord's Alliance does things outside of the city, actually.
Okay, so that wouldn't count as inside this. Just okay.
Yeah, like they go out to other small settlements and things.
Okay, who would be in charge of giving out the rewards and everything?
That would be the Neverwinter Guard, so we'd probably head back to Joseph Barta for the reward.
Um,
That's under Lord Neverember's uh, watch, I guess you could say.
okay, so who's the actual person that designated that the reward's going to be given out?
Should be Joseph Barta.
Okay, have we met him before?
Yeah, that he's the one you met just today at the thing. He also the one who was a bit rude to you when you first met him at the gate,
Oh, okay.
but he was more polite last time.
Okay, so all right, so he's much higher than I thought he was. So we've already talked to him about it then.
Yeah, he's the captain of the guard of the whole city.
Okay, I did not realize that he was so high up. And then he has the authority to issue out rewards like that.
So um what's Harold isn't sure about how that works. He says it's
Okay,
either him or he might go ask Neverember or one of his staff about that maybe.
okay,
But he's probably in charge of at least bringing that to their attention to get the reward
right.
posted.
Okay. Asking Harold again. I don't know how this works, but would either Hall of Justice or the Emerald Enclave be interested in this?
Under the sewers, Hall of Justice mostly does crimes and such, so that's sort of out of their usual interest, unless it's undead or something. Um, and the Emerald Enclave mostly deals with also outside the city with protecting forests and the
Okay.
natural habitats of animals and such.
Okay.
But I saw that Rokus and Icy had I don't know if he would have seen that actually.
Okay,
I
then,
guess
and
not.
then all right. I need to ask Harold then about. So all these people are concerned about things that go outside the city. So who would be somebody besides Lord Neverember that would be interested about what goes along inside the city? Is there some sort of other political faction or something like that?
So out of game as the DM, I'm thinking, so what is there something specific that you want to look for someone to talk about?
Well, I'm trying to figure out who would have a grudge against Lord Neverember or something like that that's high enough up that they would have minions and that sort of a thing.
Okay.
He's saying
Harold
he's worried.
says, yeah, yeah.
Like,
But Harold
he's
doesn't
saying
know about that, right? So you're not trying to tell him.
say that again.
Harold doesn't know that you're in contact with Lord Neverember at
Right,
all.
right.
So you're trying to
Um,
ask it in a general way.
right. Well, yeah, because all these other things seems like what they're interested in it goes outside the city. So if they're interested in things that go outside the city, I don't see how they would be all that interested in who's running the city.
Okay.
Unless, see what I'm saying? You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Harold says the from what you're talking about, probably just the Neverwinter Guard and the Lord's Alliance. The Lord's Alliance does do a lot of things outside, but they also deal with succession claims, and they are integral for helping assign uh, lords to lands that are reclaimed. Um, so just as the DM out of game, basically this world that we're in, it has had like many like apocalyptic events, like
Right.
world-ending events.
Yes.
So cities have been destroyed and rebuilt many times. So there's like lots of noble families who can't like claim their lands
Right.
because they're overrun with monsters and such. So there's a lot of the people living maybe in the Lake District, for example, that they're of a noble family, but they don't really have their lands. They might not even know like exactly where their land is supposed to be, even because lots of records and things have been destroyed too. Um, and so Harold will let you know that like they do the Lord's Alliance does care about who's in control of the cities because um, a lot of the nobles within the Lord's Alliance are kind of the leaders of those cities, and some of them don't get along with each other. But Harold doesn't know all the details because he's mostly concerns himself with Hall of Justice business. Um, and he does know that the Church of Tyr is not welcome in every city, so there are some lords who try to keep their city uh, run by their own guard and don't want to be interfered with by the Church of Tyr and stuff.
Okay. And they would still be part of the Lords of Alliance then?
Yeah. You just need to you basically the council of the Lord's Alliance are the leaders of each of the really big cities, and then there are members who are smaller lords who have some claim to some land of some sort. Like Harvick and his
Okay.
father, they don't really have claims to anything, so they wouldn't be eligible. Um, but Linnea,
Right.
she has, she's the heir to a group of city counties basically. So she's a duchess.
Right.
So something like that level.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are like lands outside of Neverwinter where the farms are and stuff, and some of the nobles living in the city have control of those lands too.
Uh,
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't planned out all that stuff in super great detail, but yeah.
right.
So yeah, talking. So basically, the big factions you know of at this point, we've gone over them, but Harold says, yeah, you might want to. We It's probably good if we check in with the Lord's Alliance and see if there's any new news of any happenings. Um, get up to date with what the other lords have been doing, because we haven't really found out about that. If you're interested in seeing who's um interested in Neverwinter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, now we have to. I really have to go now.
Okay, out
Really
of
by
game,
11.
you have to go.
No, but I
Yeah.
mean that's very useful information, and just so you can start getting things about how you're going to do it. I am going to trying to use the quest to go down into the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be trying to not only get information about, more about who knows what might be going on there, but also I'm going to use that as a pretext to find out, uh, why I'm there talking to people and such, but really interested in finding out, see who would have a grudge against the Lord Neverender,
All right,
or
great.
why isn't
Thanks.
leaving. That makes sense?
Yeah, I understand. And yeah, we'll end it here. And so I guess we'll meet up next Sunday as usual.
Okay. I had a good time, but I got to go now. Sorry. Bye bye.
All right, bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.